Hello everyone, and this is Ren from Strong Girls Knits, and this is episode 10. For all returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. It's making me feel so special. And then anyone new, thank you so much for checking me out. Again, it makes me feel special. So today, let's see. It's cold. It's really cold today, and I don't like it. There's no snow. All the snow melted, thankfully, from last week. But it's still cold, and I don't like the cold. Anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about knitting. I don't have any spinning this week. I really need to get on that, but again, I'm doing the winter camp hosted, primarily hosted by the Canadian Knitter podcast, Sarah, and then of course there's a bunch of co-hosts as well, the different cabin leaders, oh my goodness. And I am in Team Snow Leopard, so I think we're doing really good. I asked if they could like post a scoreboard for like overall for everybody, just so how we could see how we're ranked, because I think that would be nice. It'd be fun, you know, add a little more competitiveness to it. But anyways, so on to knitting. I don't have any finished objects this week. I pretty much cast on a bunch of things and excuse me, and then have been going from there. But I do have, I finally casted on and started James's, well, this is for James's mom, a pair of slippers. I got the first one done. Very pretty. And this is just a simple pattern. I have made a few changes to it. This is Toot Sweet Socks. It's you can find it on knitpicks.com. It's a free pattern. And it's knit bulk, well, see, the pattern's weird because it says you need, because the pattern has you hold together two, it's bulky, you use bulky yarn, but you hold the strands two together. And well, I didn't do that. I think this is thick enough. This yarn is from Yarntasia. It's her Sleigh Ride colorway and her bulky weight. And so I just held the one together, worked it all on a size 10. I didn't do two different needle size like this calls for. And also, I'm a little mad because so you're supposed to be able to get, with 100 grams of yarn, 100 grams of yarn, two of these. And so each, so approximately each sock should be about 50 grams. And I weighed this guy out, and I did it actually shorter than what they called for. And it's, I believe, 60 grams, so I'm going to have to cut into that second skein a bit, which is fine. But it's just, it does kind of perturb me just a bit. So, but anyways, this is going along. I haven't casted on the second one yet. I just finished this the other day and kind of wanted to just take a little break from it because I'm having to knit it on double points. And I love knitting on my 9-inch circulars, but of course they don't make that in a size 10. So, makes me a little mad having to work, you know, fiddle with all of them. But it's going really well so far. And then my next one, sorry, this is for my aunt. It is, well, hold on, it is, let me show it to you first. I finished the first repeats. There we go. I don't know if you can see that too well. Little cables. And then some more lace work. There we go. This is called, so sorry for the up and down. I'm going to try and cut it out a bit, depending how it looks. But anyways, this is Lacy Diamonds with Cables Cowl. It is by Anita Dirksen, I believe. However you want to pronounce that. And I like it so far. I actually, this is the Abracadabra yarn. It's the yarn that changes color in sunlight. And this is the purple one. I'm knitting this for my aunt. I didn't think one skein would be enough. But I only bought one skein because it's expensive. It's like $13 a skein, and you only get, let's see, you get only 100 yards. So it's a 50 gram skein, you only get 100 yards with it. I didn't think I could make much with it, so I bought like a secondary skein. But I found this pattern that pretty much exactly calls for this amount. And so I'm going to knit this, and then the leftover yarn, I'm going to knit a hat. And both of that, or all of that, is for my aunt. So I'm really mad at myself because I have all the size 16-inch circulars, but I only have one pair each because I feel like, I only need one pair each. The only ones that I've bought doubles of is my 9-inch circulars, just so I could work on socks continuously, or yeah, I can work on both socks at the same time. Anyways, so I found this pattern. It works on a size 6 US. The hat pattern is a size 6 as well. And then another hat pattern that I'm going to work on is also requires a size 6. But for that hat pattern, you knit the brim in size 5, so I'm at least going to get started on the brim of that with the size 5. But yeah, so everything needs size 6, and everything needs it in the 16-inch circular, and it makes me mad. I could probably figure out how to do the magic loop, but I really don't want to. I've tried it before, and it makes me mad. So, no. So I'm trying to like work through this real quick. Like I said, this is a free pattern, so I can talk about it. So this is the first, kind of the first repeat. I've done the first one. I only have to do it 2 more times, and then I do like a 4-row border, and I'm done. So I feel like I can get this done before next week and be able to get started on the hat, and then start on the other hats as well and get all that cranked out. But not that this is the only one that, this and the hat, I need it done in time for my aunt's birthday on the February the 14th. So this is really the only thing that has a timeline on it. The other hat pattern I'm working on does not. And that is, I showed you guys last week, it's that Cascade 220 sport weight yarn, and I was talking about doing like friendship socks for myself and my 2 best friends, but it was less yarn than I was thinking of, and so I decided I found this really cute hat pattern, and I will show that next week. But I'm gonna knit the hat pattern instead, so we'll each have a matching hat, but of course it'll be different colors, so that'll be nice, it'll be fun. Okay, so yes, there's this, and this is the Abracadabra by Haiku, and this one of course changes purple. Whenever I finish this, I will try and shoot a little video of it changing colors. So anyways, now to talk about a project that I am not happy with and I'm most likely going to rip out. So I showed you guys, I just showed you the yarn last week. It's Ella Rae Mega, and they no longer make this yarn anymore. It's discontinued, and I'm making a hat for my for James's sister. The Easy Snail hat, and if you can see that, it kind of looks like a shell, like it should spiral. Super easy pattern. So I go to cast it on. I dropped that. And I've knit quite a bit, but it's not spiraling. It's just keeps going up. So I don't know. I need to go back and check on the patterns page to see if maybe there's something wrong, or I need to count these stitches to see if I'm doing something wrong. But this is not working, and it makes me mad. So also this is bulky yarn. It's very fluffy, and the pattern calls for it to be knit on a size 11, and I don't really agree with that. It's a very tight gauge. Well, it's very tight. It's a very dense fabric, so it's kind of annoying to work with that. And also, yeah, the pattern is not working out. So I'm going to read over the pattern again, double check my stitches to see if maybe I did something wrong. Either way, this is getting ripped back or ripped out, and I might, if I just don't think this hat pattern's good enough, I think I might just go ahead and knit her a very thick scarf, because she's wearing a very larger than life scarf at the moment. and I don't like it. I want her to wear something knitted. So, yeah, so maybe this will be a scarf for her instead of a stupid hat that is not working. It makes me so mad because the hat looks really cool. Like, the shell looks really cool, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy with Vogue patterns. I have a few Vogue magazines and I like their stuff, but it's always very, like, kind of larger than life. It's not, I honestly feel like some of the patterns they put out, most of them people are not going to knit because it's just not, it's more like runway knitting, not let me go to the grocery store knitting, if that makes any sense at all. I like crazy cool stuff, but sometimes what they put out there is just a tad ridiculous. So, other than that, right before this, I started casting on for a towel, like a kitchen towel. So I'm pretty much just going to knit like a mitered square in cotton, you know, starting from the outside and decreasing, and then at the end, you know, you'll stop at, let's say, 10 stitches and knit the strap and sew the button on. I really want this because James does not like putting the towels back on the stove, sorry, and so I would like at least one that I can attach to the stove so you can't just like yank it off and leave it somewhere. But, and I figure I'll knit one for the kitchen and knit one for each of the bathrooms just to have a towel that's there and is not easily removed. So, let's see. Oh, and I wanted to talk about my scrap blanket because I mentioned this last week and I didn't show it to you. I totally forgot to do it. And so, this is just something I do. I've made one before. This I just do with kind of mostly my worsted weight scraps. But I'm going to have to step back. It's a very large, I guess you'd call it a granny square. I just knit and knit until I get bored with it and want to start a new scrap blanket, or until I think it's big enough. But I just take, you know, bits of worsted weight that I finished and crochet it in there. And I really love my crochet needle. It's handmade. I don't know if you... Very pretty. Come on. Don't look at me. Sorry. Anyways, it's a beautiful handcrafted crochet hook. And it's very pretty. It reminds me of a wand. So, that's kind of the whole reason I bought it, is because it reminded me of a wand. But, speaking of wands, this week seemed to be kind of a harsh week. We lost David Bowie, which I'm not very familiar with David Bowie, but I know, you know, he was a very, it seemed like he was a very loved man. And then, Thursday, we lost, Alan Rickman, Professor Snape, as he was known to me. I've seen him in other films as well, but he will always be Professor Snape to me. And it was really heartbreaking. They both, lost their battle to cancer. And yeah, it was kind of sad. But it happens. I mean, cancer sucks, and cancer is one of those things that Mother Nature has yet to let us figure out how to beat. But it'll happen. One day it'll happen. Anyway, so with this scrap blanket, excuse the crinkling as I shove it back in here. Woohoo! It's gone. Anyways, my scrap blanket, that's what I like to do. I actually have tons of sock yarn. This cute little Easter basket of mine, full of, oh, well, there's some worsted weight. That'll go in the other one. But anyways, sock yarn. And it's all kinds of pretties. Even actually have a full, this is 50 grams, so I could almost knit an entire pair of socks again for myself, which I might. Bam! Anyways, so this lovely stuff, like I said, I think I want to do a blanket, but I don't want to fall down that hole. I don't want to do it. But I for sure want to knit some scrappy socks for myself. I think that would be cool. I've seen some of those and those look really cool. And that's definitely something I would want to do. But, but again, those blankets look really pretty too. And I don't know, maybe, you know, there's no rush to do it at all. I mean, so I'll keep thinking about that. And yes, so for question of the week, I'm going to put this in here real quick before I get, what do you do with your guys' scraps? Like I showed you last week, I have, for the very small scraps, I have my jars that I keep and save for the spring for all the birds. I have my scrap blanket, and then I have, oh, and then I've kept all my sock yarn, of course, and I definitely want to make some scrappy socks out of that. I never really have any bulky weight, because usually when knitting with bulky, I manage to use up the whole skein, because that's my plan. I want to use it all up. So I never really have to do anything with those. But, so what do you do? Post pictures. I want to, you know, I want to see what y'all do, because I think, you know, very, you know, everyone can bounce off of different other ideas. I know how the Bookish Knitter podcast, that's right. She actually has quite a few couple totes full of scrap yarn, and this is, I think this year she's planning on busting down as much scraps as she can. And she was the one that inspired me to knit the towels for the kitchen and the bathroom, because she's using up all her scrap cotton for that, and then she's just trying as well to knit up scrap projects, which I think is great. You know, we buy this yarn, definitely want to use it all up, if not otherwise donate it. So okay, on to acquisitions. I finally got my Christmas presents from my aunt the other day. My family and I were kind of lazy when it comes to shipping, so it's like, oh, either you get your stuff early or you get it late. Either way, you know, everyone knows that we love each other. So, but besides these awesome cute bunny slippers, which let me grab real quick. Whew. Anyways, what the little cute little bunny slippers with the little tails. I've already used these, and they're comfy. They've got a nice, like, solid bottom, but they're so cute, so cute. Anyways, so this is those slippers. Although it's really cold today, so I'm wearing my boot slippers that she got me a couple years ago. But and she also got me this. It's a little felted notions pouch. Little felted sheep. I'm a little sheep. Anyways, I really like this. I haven't used it yet or anything, but I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's so adorable. Anyways, I'm excited for this. I think I'll probably put some stitch markers in there and carry that around. Oh, and then thrift store find. Our local Humane Society has a thrift store, and my best friend Jess and I have become rather addicted to going there. So we go about every other weekend. And of course I try and donate stuff, so whenever I buy stuff, it's not like I just keep bringing more and more stuff home. But that's okay. Anyways, I found a lint shaver, yeah, there for only $1, and it works. So, it's Emerson. Oh, Emerson. I broke this. This is what makes me mad. So it had like a little clip in, like right there, that you're supposed to pop it in and then snap. Well, I guess I just got over exuberant the other night when I put the batteries in. I was just like, it snapped it right off. So now I either have to tape this sucker down or just freestyle without it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I already have one. I have a Knit Picks one that works really nice. But I saw this one, and it has a bigger wheel, and I figured it's not going to hurt to have more than one lint shaver. So, and it was only $1. Only $1. I'm so addicted to the thrift store. But I'm trying to be good of not bringing home a bunch of stuff, you know, only stuff that I could, you know, I really need. Although I didn't really need this, but, you know, whatever. You can't pass up a good deal. And my best friend and I or Jess and I, we finally, so across the street from the Humane Society, they have like a recycling center where I can sell cans. And because this year, well, I started it last year, but I was like, you know what, James drinks a lot of canned drinks. And instead of just kind of filling up our poor recycling bin that they only collect every other week, which drives me crazy, because I recycle way more than the waste I produce, which is, I feel like, how it should be. Like, they could pretty much switch it where recycling comes every week and trash comes every other week, and I would be totally fine. I try and recycle as much as possible and throw away as little as possible. But anyways, with the cans, I've been collecting those, and I'd been collecting them. I was like, well, I don't know where to go, because the only other place I hadn't realized there was a place across the street from the Humane Society, but the only other place was like on the far side of town, so any money I would have earned would have just pretty much gone in my gas, because where it is, there's really nothing. I have no other need to go to where it is. But thankfully, the other weekend we drove by and we saw, oh, cans like 40 cents a pound, and I was like, oh, sweet, Jess, next week we'll go ahead and sell cans. She's like, okay, cool. So sold cans, my first bag of cans. It wasn't that much, it was only 4 pounds, so I only got like $1.60, which is fine. I went ahead and transferred like $2 into my savings, and then had that, just had some loose change. No big deal. It was super easy. It kind of smells funny there, but that's okay. But so I've definitely, now I know where to sell my cans, and I have a routine now. I'm gonna have a routine now. So every other weekend I take my bag and empty it and get some chump change. So, but either way, I'm recycling and I'm getting some money back, which I think is great. So, yay! I have student loans I have to pay off. Not that much, but still. Let's see. Oh, and I want to talk about the D-Stash donations. I've told you guys that Miss Cheryl donated some more, and then my wonderful friend Jean had donated some as well. But I just hadn't gotten around to showing it on the podcast. So, excuse the crinkling. Miss Cheryl donated these guys. Just some reds, some team colors. So, and I already have one box filled, and I'm going to mail that tomorrow. And then with the rest of this, I'm going to have a second box that I will try and mail tomorrow as well, hopefully. But, and then Miss Jean. I love you, Miss Jean. This huge JCPenney's bag. I'm pretty sure with this bag alone, Miss Jean has won, as of right now, will be winning the most D-Stash donation. So, thank you so much. As for that, our D-Stash, because we have our D-Stash along, the knit along, I think we only have, we have Kristen, Cheryl, and Lori are the only ones entering, or the only ones that have entered, and then we have, for the donations, Lori, Cheryl, and Jean. So I think what I'm going to do, whoever's done the most, of course, I'm going to, for the knit along, you're going to get yarn and a bag, and then a pattern, and then the other two people, I'm going to go ahead and give you like a little $5 pattern of your choice, because I think that's fair. And then for the donations, I'm going to do the same as well. The winner will get a bag, maybe some yarn if I find something here, and a pattern, and then the other two, of course, I will give you a pattern. So Lori and Cheryl have the potential of getting 2 patterns each. So there you go. Good job, ladies. Thank you so much. Also, I am doing a 12 pairs of socks in 2016 knit along. I already have quite a few entries in for January. Thank you so much. They all look so lovely. There's a zombie colorway one that looks really cool. Miss Cheryl did patriotic, which is gorgeous, of course. I'm trying to think the other ones. There's at least two or three other pairs that look really, really pretty, and it's so great to see. So thank you so much, ladies. I will be drawing again at the end of the month, so I will draw and see who wins a free pattern, or a pattern of your choice. And of course, if you're a designer or whatever and you want to donate any prizes, that's always welcomed and greatly appreciated. So I will give you major shout outs. Alrighty, I think that's all for knitting. I've been I've been really good the past couple weeks of sitting down, because I finish stuff and then I just kind of let it sit and don't weave in the end. So the past few weeks I've been really good about any old projects I've weaved in all the ends, and then anything I finish I go ahead and weave in all the ends, or I get everything together and weave in all the ends. So yay, that's a good, that's kind of a crafty resolution for myself. And then as well, I am trying to update all my Ravelry as well, because I think that's important. I like having it updated, or at least the pattern and information up there, so I can tag it in the discussion post, and you guys can see if you want to check out the pattern yourself, or you want to knit the I want to try and do that for you guys mostly, and also so I can see what all I've done, let's say in that year or whatever. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, I'm a little sleepy, but that's it. Oh, I do want to do one book thing, and then I will be done, and then I'll talk about weekend review. So I got this Soundless by Rochelle Mead, but in Owlcrate subscription box. This is a young adult book. I read half and half young adult, half like adult normal books, I guess. But anyways, this is based on, it has a Chinese folklore base to it. It's very good. It's a fantasy. I really loved it. Definitely gave it a 5 out of 5. And it's, I don't know, it's really nice. Our lovely heroine, Fei, we'll say Fei, F-E-I. She, like her village, nobody can hear, so they all sign. And they live up in a secluded mountain village. It's been cut off and everything, and so they mine and send all of their materials down the line, and then the line keeper sends back food. Well, he's been sending back less and less food and such, and so the village is having problems with that. But Miss Fei, sorry about the shaking, Miss Fei, her sound magically comes back, and thus the story begins, where she has her sound, or she can hear. Why did I say she had her sound back? She can hear. She wakes up and she's able to hear. Oh my god. Anyways, yes. So Miss Lovely Fei, is our protagonist. She's very awesome. She's a strong-willed woman, woman. I'm gonna call her woman. And she has a sister, of course, that she looks out for, and pretty much everything is motivated by the love of her sister. And there is a love interest, but it's done very well. They actually have a history. They were going to get together, or were going to be engaged, but then she became an artist, and he ended up becoming a miner, as was planned anyways. And because of the different classes, they were not able to get married. But he's involved. He's very cool. He definitely doesn't belittle her by any means, and I think that's great. Like I said, very strong protagonist, very good. So I suggest this to anyone that wants to read it, or if you have teenagers or whatever. It's a very good book. It's very much worth your time. So anyways, that's my little rant. That's all for knitting and such for now. I'm gonna do kind of a weekend review, and that'll be that. So if you don't want to stick around, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. Love you. Bye. Alright, so weekend review. I am officially back on my diet. It's been a week straight now of my diet. I feel much better. Feel so much better. I have dropped quite a few pounds, just getting back on track of eating right and eating the right amount. It helps immensely. And then I'm back on a regular workout schedule. This is week 2 of the workout. No, I just finished week 2, so I'm starting on my 3rd week of our little mini like get back in shape, get back in routine workout block. So everything's going well, feel good. I did have to skip squats the other day because I deadlifted heavy, then we had dinner, and because I was really hungry. But then I went to go squat, and I thought I was going to get sick, and I just went ahead and said, no, sweetie, sorry, I can't squat today. It's a light squat, so I feel like it's not, you know, I would feel very disappointed in myself if I had skipped heavy squats or even my medium squats, but yeah, so I had to skip that, but otherwise everything's been good. Had some ab soreness because started doing the ab wheel again, and my arms were quite a bit sore the other day from Thursday. It always seems like the second day is the worst, and then third day I'm magically just fine. The first day it's kind of like, but I'm okay. Second day is horrible. Don't know why, but it's always the second day for me. But anyways, that was from Thursday because I benched. It was just a medium bench, not a big deal. But we did a lot of accessory work as well for me, and that was rough. That was rough. I'll put it as that. It wasn't that bad, but it was definitely. I hadn't done it in forever, so body wasn't used to it. As for diets, I actually talked to Andrea from the Cat Lady podcast about diets the other day, and I was thinking about, if you guys wanted, I could discuss what I do for my diet and just what James and I do for when I want to lose weight for competition, or what I did do to lose weight last summer for competition, but because last summer I was pretty much 140 walking around, and then after a bad competition I said, James, screw this, I want to lose weight. I don't feel that great about my body. I'm strong, but I still don't feel that great about myself. And he's like, okay. So we went ahead and we're like, we'll drop a weight class, and ended up losing like 13 pounds. And I feel a lot better. And lifting wise, I became stronger because they do pretty much how much weight per pound you lift. So if we did it like that, I'm much stronger than I was beforehand. But anyways, as of for now, we're just losing a couple pounds just from holidays, and then just trying to cut a few pounds for competition in April. So anyways, I can discuss that if you guys like, if you have any interest at all. It's in my mind, it's fairly simple. So let's see. As for this week, it was interesting. My coworker and I, it seemed like every day, besides Monday was extremely hectic at work. It's just the two of us that work in the lab, but we work alongside operations, and they of course use the lab. They have to run samples every 2 hours or so, depending on which of the three positions and how often they have to do sampling. But I'm trying to think, their supervisor and one of the board ops was on vacation, so they were covered, but then another board op is out because of back surgery, and then one of the field ops called out sick. So all there was from the actual team, the original team, were the two field ops, and then thankfully they had one board person, and then the supervisor that was covering it had to run the board as well. So it was just a 4-man crew for an otherwise 6 to 8 man crew. It was kind of rough. So my coworker and I helped. It was very hectic. It felt very hectic, but everything calmed down. But then the rest of the week we got there and we seemed to get everything done before noon, and then we still had usually at least 3 hours for me, and then at least 4 for him, and just us kind of sitting there twiddling our thumbs trying to find stuff to do. But other than that, work's been really good. Thankfully, no one else is sick, and anyone who has been called out or who was sick from the previous week due to some health complications should be back tomorrow, which is great because I don't like working with a short staff. It sucks, but Other than that, everything's been good. I've been baking a lot, of course, with the kids. Elizabeth and I made some muffins for breakfast the other day, which was really delicious. Claire and I made brownies for her daycare. I, of course, did not... I didn't try any. I made them strictly for daycare, but apparently everyone really loved them, so that was good. Makes me feel all cozy inside. And I finally got my... Oh, no, that's it. No, that's it. That's it. I got my protein in, and I got Sherlock's food in, so food-wise, we're all good. And it's cold. I don't like when it's cold. Oh, no. So I had, not last Tuesday, the Tuesday before, I did the first step to get a crown on one of my teeth, and then this upcoming Tuesday, I finally get the crown, which I'm happy, because 2 weeks of this fake is horrible, and I don't like it. I've been wanting to pretty much, like, pick it off. Which it'll pop right off. That's the bad thing. And then tomorrow I actually have a consultation with an oral surgeon to finally get my wisdom teeth removed. I've been kind of holding this off. I'll be 25 next month, and I still have my wisdom teeth because I've been avoiding getting them out. So, because when I was younger, just couldn't afford to go, which is, you know, that's not a problem. I mean, it hasn't been a bad thing. It hasn't caused that much problems. My teeth are just a little crooked, but so what? Let's see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just health, and health-wise, everything's going fine. I've got appointments, it seems like, for everything. But I don't know. Everything's going good. Like I said, if you guys want me to talk about how I diet or how, you know, how I monitor my food or anything, I will gladly do that next week. I can get all that together to show you. And other than that, that's about it. Just doing the thing. James James bought some bands and now has set up our squat rack. Well, our rack, because we use it to bench and squat. So we can do band workouts, which is nice. Because with bands, you can have 5 bands that you can put away in a tiny box compared to having tons of free weights that take up quite a bit of space and are very expensive. So, because it's pretty much almost $1 a pound. It's rough trying to, because we had to get plates and we had to buy quite a few 45-pound plates. We have at least 6 pairs. So that's about $600 right there, pretty close. Yeah, we put a lot of money into our weightlifting equipment, well, just weightlifting in general, but I mean, it's very much worth it, especially now with we can't go to the gym every day, and we haven't renewed our membership. We're going to renew it probably in April. We'll be able to go back to the gym more often, but as of right now, we just can't, which is fine because thankfully we have the setup that we can do everything, almost everything we need here. So that's nice. Yeah, that's it. So like I said, you want me to talk about diets? Tell me. You gotta get on there and tell me, and I will. So, as for that, that's about it. Sorry for being kind of boring this week, but I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week, and I hope everything's going really well.